Welcome back, all my Pentaholics, to Singer Dad Reacts. My name is Josh. I'm here to do another Pentatonix reaction, and I am going to be reacting to Break My Heart by Dua Lipa. And one of the things that I did do for this one is I went ahead and watched the original music video from Dua for this song, just to kind of get a feel for how she sang it and the original kind of feel for the song, so I could compare and contrast that with Pentatonix and how they put this cover together. So that's one of the things I'm going to do going forward. And I think one of the guidelines, after kind of thinking about it, that I'm going to hold myself to is, if I've heard the song before, which I had in this case a couple of times, then I'll go ahead and watch the music video of the original performance. But if I haven't heard it, then I'll go ahead and just save it, and maybe do it after I do the actual main reaction video, to contrast it, and then I can talk about it later, maybe, just so I'm not ruining the moment as far as getting that first experience of the performance for the group in question. So that'll be, I think, my guideline, just to make sure I don't take away from the reaction experience. So here are the lyrics for Break My Heart. By the way, I did record my my reaction as I watched the Dua Lipa version, and Lipa? I think it's Lipa, because there's not two P's there. But I did record that, and that will be available on the Patreon site. So that'll be one of my kind of behind the scenes type things. It's available with the lowest tier plan from my Patreon site. So if you want to take a look at that and see what's available, I'm going to start building out some of my exclusive content, and you can find all that at patreon.com/singerdadreacts. So here are the lyrics. Break my heart. I've always been the one to say the first goodbye. Had to love and lose 100 million times. Had to get it wrong to know just what I like. Now I'm falling, you say my name like I have never heard before. I'm indecisive, but this time I know for sure. I hope I'm not the only one that feels it all. Are you falling? And here's the pre-chorus. Center of attention, you know you can get whatever you want from me. Whenever you want it, baby, it's you in my reflection. I'm afraid of all the things it could do to me. If I would have known it, baby, I would have stayed at home, 'cause I was doing better alone. But when you said hello, I knew that was the end of it all. I should have stayed at home, 'cause now there ain't no letting you go. Am I falling in love with the one that could break my heart? Oh no, I was doing better alone, but when you said hello, I knew that was the end of it all. That's okay, it repeats itself. Verse 2, I wonder when you go if I stay on your mind. Two can play that game, but you win me every time. Everyone before you was a waste of time. Yeah, you got me. Okay, and then it repeats itself. The chorus and the pre-chorus. Ooh, break my heart. Am I falling in love with the one that could break my heart? Repeats the chorus. And that's it. It ends with, am I falling in love with the one that could break my heart? So yeah, it's pretty straightforward. She's obviously had an experience where she felt like she got it wrong, and I should have stayed at home. I should have stayed away from this particular individual. And she's afraid of all the things that could happen if she opens herself up, basically. Because now there ain't no letting you go. So she's kind of allowed this person into her heart. And she's worried that, that person could break it, right? So, yeah, that's my interpretation of those lyrics. So with that, let's jump in here. So if you haven't already, if you could please subscribe to my channel, that's very helpful to me and helping to support the channel and support what I'm doing here. And I would greatly appreciate that. And let's get into it here. Nice.
I've always been the one to say the first goodbye. lose 100 million times. Had to get it wrong to know just what I like. Now I'm falling. You say my name like I have never heard before. I'm indecisive, but this time I know for sure. I hope I'm not the only one that feels it all. Are you falling?
Center of attention, you know you can get whatever you want from me, whenever you want it, baby. It's you and my reflection. I'm afraid of all the things it could do to me if I wouldn't own it, baby. I wanna stay at home, 'cause I was doing better alone. But when you said hello, I knew it was the end of it all. I should've stayed at home, 'cause now there ain't a line to go. Am I falling in love with the one that could break my heart?
Wow. Yeah, so there wasn't really a good place to pause up until now, so there's a lot that's gone on here. So I'm already a minute and 20 into it. But yeah, it's the thing that stands out to me. I mean, Kevin just is a rock as far as providing the percussion and really kind of, there's a lot of kind of starts and stops in this song. So it's not just like this straightforward thing where there's a beat and it goes on and stays, fairly consistent throughout. In this one, there's like kind of this boom, stays at home, and then it kind of stops. And then, so what that plays a part in as well is the harmonies. And it makes it harder. I've talked about this before, but having sung in an a cappella group, it's a challenge as far as like keeping those harmonies in line and the sequencing and the rhythms where you're singing together on phrases and there's a staccato feel or there's bouncing, in other words, or movement or different rhythms going on. That's where it's some of the challenging stuff, right? So they are the masters of that. And I watched one reactor who was like trying to figure out how they're able to count, how they're actually able to each individual person count and stay on track as far as synchronizing. Now imagine doing that where you're each individually filming your part, and then the editor, who's has to be incredible, has to go in and then put them all together. But you have to get it right as far as like, and I don't know if they use a metronome or some type of clicking type mechanism, similar to what Nightwish uses, right? When they pipe in the London Philharmonic type stuff for the symphonic metal, they have to use a click type thing to keep the rhythm. Maybe they use something like that for these performances, but they've got to have something to keep them all on the same rhythms as they are recording it. But let me go back a little bit here. Yeah, Mitch is doing really well on his part, and I feel a lot of energy from Kirsty as well here.
On for me, whenever you want it, baby. It's you and my reflection. I'm afraid of all the things it could do to me if I wouldn't own it, baby. I wanna stay at home, 'cause I was doing better alone. But when you said hello, I knew it was the end of it all. I should've stayed at home.
They're all wearing like a pastel thing.
Am I falling in love with the one that could break my heart? Oh no,
That's
'cause
cool.
I was doing better alone. But when you said hello, I knew it was the end of it all. I should've stayed at home, 'cause now there ain't no line to go.
Am I falling in love with the one that could break my heart?
That.
I wonder where you go if I stay on your mind.
That was cool.
You can play that game.
I'm going to go back there. Sorry, guys. Yeah, they're each getting a chance to kind of shine here. I like that.
The end of it all, I should've stayed at home, 'cause now there ain't no line to go.
Am I falling in love with the one that could break my heart?
Yeah, there goes Matt.
I wonder where you go if I stay on doing better alone. But when you said hello, I knew it was the end of it all. I should have stayed at home, 'cause now there ain't no letting you go.
Am I falling in love with the one that could break my heart?
Ooh, break my heart. Ooh, break my heart. You break my heart and am I falling in love with the one that could break my heart? I would've stayed at home, 'cause I was doing better alone. But when you said hello, I knew it was the end of it all. I should've stayed at home, 'cause now there ain't no letting you go.
Am I falling in love with the one that could break my heart?
Oh no, I was doing better alone. But when you said hello, I knew it was the end of it all. I should've stayed at home, 'cause now there ain't no letting you go.
Am I falling in love with the one that could break my heart?
Wow. There wasn't really a good place to pause in there, so I didn't want to break up what they were singing there. But yeah, it's the case with all Pentatonix videos, right? I mean, if I really wanted to really dissect, and that's a good word for it, dissect their video, in this case this one here, Break My Heart, I would go through and listen to like a minute or 30 seconds or whatever, and just kind of break apart exactly what they're doing for each one. But I don't want to make this like super long. Yeah, I want to go back just one time here real quick. So a lot of times we take for granted kind of the moving harmonies, as far as like when you've got at least 3 of them doing harmonies, right? And having to kind of do different things rhythmically. So I think it was right here.
That could break my heart.
Right here.
Break my heart. Break my heart.
Sounds easy, but that's not easy.
Am I falling in love with
And the rhythm's changing up here. Kevin's really consistent.
I would've stayed at
And that pause right there too. They had to know exactly
when you said
how long to pause.
hello. I knew it was the end of it all. I should've stayed at home, 'cause now there ain't no letting you go.
Am I falling in love with the
I love that raspy he adds to it. It's nice.
Oh no, I was doing better alone. But when you said hello, I knew it was the end of it all. I should've stayed at home, 'cause now there ain't no letting you go.
Am I falling in love with the one that could break my heart?
You know they had to end with a Scott run, right? He's legendary with his runs. He just makes them look effortless. Yeah, so that was a cool cover, and it was cool to kind of be able to have some comparison in my mind to the video I just watched of the original artist. And it's similar to what I did early on in my channel when I did the attention comparison, right? So I watched Charlie Puth and then posted my reaction to his video, and then also did my Pentatonix cover and posted my reaction to that as well. So I'm not going to really post the Dua Lipa one. Like I said, I'm going to have it be exclusive for my patrons for multiple reasons. One of which is whenever I post these mainstream artists out on YouTube, they always get blocked. I tried to do an Ed Sheeran reaction, and when I posted it, it got blocked right away, and they rejected my dispute from the claim. So yeah, that'll be something that's exclusively available. But this arrangement, their arrangements are always just amazing. I know that they have some help doing the arrangements, but that they all are involved with that whole process. So I'd love to be a fly on the wall to kind of see them go through a song like this and really figure out, okay, let's do this transition to this, and let's do, 4-part harmony here, and then let's add a pause here like they did, like we saw there. And then change it up a little bit here and have Mitch sing here. So I'd love to kind of be able to see that firsthand. And if you haven't looked already at some of their making of videos, those are really cool. They have several of those online. So there's one for like Bohemian Rhapsody. They have one, for instance, that I watched that was really cool. It shows them like when they filmed that music video. They did basically like an all-nighter for that particular music video. So yeah, check those out. Those are really cool. Another phenomenal performance from Pentatonix. They're always amazing. And, I've said it before, but we just kind of take them for granted as to what they can do. It's very unique and very, very difficult what they do. They make it look effortless. And the fact that they're doing these videos, as I mentioned before, separately, individually, and then pulling them together, that's even that much more impressive. So I'll do more Pentatonix coming up, some of their new stuff. I think there's one called Happy Now that I was looking at that is definitely on my list. And then there's some of the older ones that I haven't seen as well. Some of them that you guys have suggested I haven't seen, especially some of the Christmas ones, since we have Christmas coming up here. There's several Christmas ones I haven't seen yet, so I'll definitely be pulling some of those out and doing some reactions. So make sure to put your suggestions in the comments below, and if you haven't already, if you could please subscribe so that you hear of any new Pentatonix reactions or any others that you may be interested in. I would greatly appreciate that. And I hope you guys are doing really well, and life's treating you well, and you're happy, healthy, and getting lots of good time with your loved ones. Take care.